Okay, Dave, tell me about pressure regulators.
Well, Frank, we use a couple of different type of pressure regulators. I've got a couple of samples here I'd like to show you. Okay, this type we've been using for quite some time, and this is a pressure regulator with a shut-off valve built in. This is exactly the type that I had on that demonstrator we looked at a moment ago. And this is also a common type of regulator here. And this would be used on standing pilot, spark pilot, and cooktops. The main difference between these two is this has one inlet, one outlet, whereas this one has one inlet and two outlets. One for the top burner and one for the oven burners. Okay.
How do regulators work?
Well, Frank, if we could cut one away and look inside of it, what you would see is a diaphragm in here. And as the pressure comes in from the street or the tank or wherever it's coming from, generally we're talking about pressures of up to 15 inches. Okay, we measure gas in inches versus pounds. It takes 28 inches to make 1 psi. So we're only dealing with like half a pound per square inch. What happens is the pressure will come into the regulator and push up against that diaphragm. And as the pressure pushes the diaphragm up, the diaphragm will pull a tapered plug in behind it. And the tapered plug will act as a restrictor through the passage that the gas comes through, and will restrict the pressure and the volume somewhat of the gas, but mostly the pressure, so that it'll actually reach equilibrium with the diaphragm moving up and down for a moment until the pressure evens out and it reaches equilibrium, and it pretty well stays constant at that point. A couple of other things I want to point out. A regulator will always have some type of arrow to show the direction of flow, whether it's a large arrow or small arrows. Like this one has two arrows, one here and one here, and this being the inlet on this end. With the cooktop, that type of regulator you have in your hand, this is shipped in a paper bag in with the carton that the cooktop comes in. And it can be put on backwards. We run into a few cases where the installer will put the regulator on backwards.
Well, I see the threads are the same on both sides.
You'll get a complaint where the water, the cooktop won't boil water, something like that. So the tech ought to check the direction of the arrow.
I see the arrow is pointing this way towards me.
Right. That means the direction of flow would be towards you.
Okay.
So I guess you could say the arrow should point up to the cooktop.
That makes sense.
In the past, we've done it on ranges too. Every once in a while, the factory will make a boo-boo, put the regulators on backwards, and it keeps the techs in business.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Dave.
Frank,
told me quite a bit. It's been
my
a pleasure.
pleasure.
Thank you.